Good morning. Today is January 7th or 8th. Might be the 8th. Story time. So the last 36 hours have been somewhat harrowing. And it all started innocently with me driving in from, where is this thing? Isn't this beautiful? Driving in from here, which is just over the Malibu border into Ventura County. And driving into Venice Beach to pick up my mail and take care of some errands, like getting my tablet refurbished so I can begin writing a book about the subtle energy field and expansion of subtle energy field that I've been measuring for the past few years. And basically also to pick up the herbs and whatnot to begin the detox for the heavy metals and parasites. We're finally at that stage of the recovery. And so, to back up just a tad, right after Thanksgiving, I made the what would turn out to be a very, very expensive mistake of putting what's called E20 biodiesel into the van. And that tank of gas has cost me a lot of money. A fair amount that I don't have. So it immediately started to clog up the fuel system, and I was able to make it to a mechanic, to the Sprinter experts over in who I highly recommend if you have a Sprinter. If you're in LA, you need a Sprinter mechanics. These folks are from Ukraine. They've been working on these Sprinters for since they first started back in the late 90s, and they're really good people. So I made it to them. They said that we figured out that the problem was the E20, and that all I needed to do was to, just try to flush it through the system and see if that worked. Well, I thought I'd flushed it, and in fact, when I left here the other day, I did all my right now I'm about 30 miles from Venice Beach. So I drove in the 30 miles, no problem. Drove all over Venice, did all my errands and everything. And at the end of the day, probably about 9 o'clock at night, I'm driving back through Malibu. I pull up to this stoplight and I'm stuck. I have one of these little machines that tells you what your codes are. If the engine is throwing codes, the check engine light throws codes. And so I have this. Oh, there's dolphins. Rabbit. There's dolphins. Straight out. Most auspicious. So this little machine I have makes it possible for me to clear those codes. And that's what I had been doing whenever. The importance of clearing the code is that otherwise the engine, the computer goes into what's called limp mode. And in some cases it won't even let you drive at all. So depending on what the code is, it's all trying to protect the engine and the computer and all this sort of stuff, right? So what ends up happening is I'm trying to clear the codes, and I'm basically stuck at this signal, and eventually these two ambulance drivers pull up next to me trying to help. They were willing to push me, and right then the car starts up, and I just I book it around the corner and get out of the middle of the street, and so they didn't have to push me. But I didn't realize that this was just the beginning. You're on an adventure. So what ends up happening is I get it going, and I go down this street through these really hoity-toity houses and everything that are right next to the beach, and to avoid this huge hill, and it starts doing it again, and I finally just pull into a spot, and it won't start. It will not restart. And I worked on it for like 3 hours, till 1 in the morning, I guess. And I could actually hear the person's house in front of that I was parked, them, they were not happy with me being there. And I kept trying to get it started, and at one point I couldn't even get the key to turn, and it was just like this whole calamity and it keeps going like this. So the window was stuck down, and it started raining. And I'm like, at least I've got to be able to get the key to friggin' work. And I finally got the key to work, and I closed the window, and it was obvious that I wasn't going anywhere. So I spent the night there. By weird coincidence, my AAA had lapsed the very day. I got a notice from them to call them because the auto pay hadn't gone through. It turned out they were just accessing the wrong card. So anyway, the next morning I call them, and I get the AAA reinstated and everything, because I have a pretty good sense I'm going to need to get it towed. I start it up, I turn it around, and it dies in the middle of the road. And so I called for a tow. I called the mechanic, and I let him listen to what was happening, and he said, that your fuel rail is shot. And what they told me is this fuel rail thing it's a little pipe that puts the gas into your injectors, and it's under high pressure, and that little part starts around $1,500. And I'm like, this is going to be a very expensive day. He says, just get it towed here, and we have it in stock, and we'll get it going, So I'm like, okay. So I called and get the AAA guy to come, and the AAA guy comes, and we drive an hour to Burbank to get to their new location, and it's one of those situations where it's going to be expensive, but you don't know how expensive it's going to be. And to be frankly honest, I only had $1,800 to my name. That included my disability, all the disability money for the month. And yeah, so it took all day. So after dark, they finally, gave me the bill, and the bill came to $2,650. And yeah, so that took all the money I had, and I had to call my sister, who works as a nurse, to loan me the balance. And yeah, so then you would think that would be it, right? You'd think, okay, well, you're good, it's all good. So I drive out of there after settling up with them, and I got about 20 minutes away, and along the way I'm watching. One of the things they had to do is they had to drain the gas tank dry, replace the fuel filter, replace the fuel line, and this rail thing, right? Just so you know, draining the fuel and the disposal of hazardous waste like that was one of the most expensive 12 gallons of gas that I've ever heard of. And it was several $100s to dispose of that. So anyway, I'm driving along the highway, and I'm literally watching. They replaced it with 12 gallons of diesel fuel, and I'm just watching the fuel gauge drop and drop and drop, which tells me obviously that there's a leak. So eventually I pull off the highway, looking for a gas station that has diesel. Couldn't find one, and I just pulled over because the what do you call it, the warning light that you're running out of fuel. And one of the things you do not want to do is run out of fuel in a diesel engine. It can really mess it up. So I called the mechanic, and they sent somebody out, and he looked at it. Luckily, I was only 20 minutes away. He looked at it, and the fuel line was the part that they installed was faulty, and he had to fix it. And so then the person that owns the business came out, and the dean, and so the two of them are working on it, and they finally get it workable and enough to get it back to the shop. And so I had to go to the gas station, put fuel in it to get back to the shop. And when I get to the gas station, I realize that I've got no turn signals. The lights in the back aren't working. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? At that point, you know that you're just being fucked with, just straight up. The universe is just fucking with you, right? And so I go in the back, and there's a guy. His car is parked right behind me, so that I can't open the back. And I'm like, oh, there they are. Here we go. So I can't open the back. I say, man, can you move back so I can I need to open the back of the van. And he takes his own sweet time about doing it. And I'm like, I didn't lose it at that point. There you go. Most auspicious. So I'm going to take that as a good sign, and I hope you do too. So what happens is I get back there and I just, oh my goodness, I have to, this is too much. This is too wonderful. There we go. So I go back. Oh, there's one over here. It looks like they're fishing. So I may see him again. They're not just cruising through. And in the past, I've seen this as a big pod. Oh yeah, there he is, or she. This is a big pod. I've seen about, I don't know, more than 10 of them all together. So at that point, I have to say I did cuss. I did cuss, and I just, I actually, if you can't get something to work, it says in the manual that you should just hit it. So I just hit it. And it finally friggin' worked. It friggin' worked. So, but I think, part of the lesson is you can only take so much before you have to say, enough is enough, right? You have to let the universe know that you're not down with being fucked with, right? I don't know how it works. I don't know the cosmic mechanics of this shit, but, it did feel good to cuss. So anyway, the lights are working. I drove back to the 20 minutes back. By now it's like 9 o'clock at night. I've been at this since, for over 12 hours. And they get the parts fixed and everything, and we're done, right? And at that point, I was like, I'm just going to drive back to the beach. I just need to friggin' chill out. And, it's an hour away. So I drove back here last night. And here I am. And when I woke up this morning and I opened my phone, my messages, I saw that I got a message from the bank saying that, my balance is low. I open it up and I find out that I have $27. So, yeah, and it's the 8th. There's still 3 weeks before the end of the month and the next payday. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but something said to share the story. I do know what I'm going to do in terms of I'm going to start doing the cleanse today, the detox. And I did a little bit of it the day before yesterday, and the whole time I was at that mechanic shop yesterday, it was definitely working. It was definitely cleaned me out. I think I lost a couple of pounds. Good thing they had a nice toilet. So hopefully that'll, get rid of the heavy metals and the parasites and whatnot that I've accumulated through the past 3 years of these treatments. And, I had a bit of a scare Christmas week. The CT scan, the last CT scan is, says I'm clear at least through March, 3-month surveillance now. And I celebrated that, but at the same time I started to have some pain and in the area of the cancer, where they took out the lesion. But that's since abated, and I think I learned that it may be the scar tissue is now like a what do you call it? Like a weather vane affected by the air pressure, because there were all those storms that happened that week here, and so now I've got a weather vane up my butt, which is good to know, I guess. And right as I say that, 2 dolphins leap out of the water. You know, they're definitely feeding right now. So the universe has a sense of humor. I hope it has some money coming to cover me through the end of the month. And but you know, I've got a full 5 gallons of alkaline water, which is really good for the cleanse. I know how to fast. So I've actually I get like $50 a month for food stamps, and I've been saving that, you know, since the whole thing happened with the Trump administration in November. I haven't touched that, so I've got enough to eat. Hopefully, I haven't checked it even. So I've got, you know, I should have about two months worth, so maybe $100 for food, and I can definitely make it through the end of the month for eating and fasting and whatnot. It's the other bills that are coming in that I'm a little concerned about. But then again, so is everybody on the friggin' planet right now, given the political situation. Let's see if we can catch them again over here. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, that's my story. I've been able to, you know, begin a regimen of running and on the beach, and I've actually, last week I went in the water 4 times, and that felt really wonderful. So I'm getting stronger. I'm not yet strong enough to fly. My gauge is if I fly at Torrey and I have to go down to the beach, if I have to land on the beach at 350-foot cliff, can I make it back? Do I feel strong enough to carry my bag, 40-pound pack, back up that 350-foot cliff? If I'm not strong enough to do that, then I'm not strong enough to fly. And I'm not quite there yet. So we'll see what happens from here. I don't look at these while I'm okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go, and I'll do my best to keep you posted on the drama or lack thereof. It feels really good to be alive right now, to have such challenges to overcome. You know, to be in such a beautiful place, to be able to get to such a beautiful place, to be able to stand up, walk, talk, poop out of my own asshole, as opposed to into a bag. And hopefully we'll just keep going like that for the next rest of my life. Alrighty. And remember, we love you. Oh, one more piece of information. There's a total solar eclipse on August 12th, and it runs across Spain. Up the path of totality runs across Spain from the Mediterranean to the Atlantic, and it turns out that the European Rainbow Gathering is going to be in Spain. So we'll see what happens with that, but pass the word. That should be, a really wonderful experience if you make it, or if you know somebody that might be interested in making it to that. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I'll make it, but starting January 8th or whatever it is, with $27, let's see if David makes it to watch this total solar eclipse in Spain, right, in August. But hopefully in a in no time at all, I'll be starting flying again. So there it is. Love and light. Oh, there's other people. Yes.